Hey y'all, it's Jerry, and today we're going to kick up that flavor with smoked tri-tip and grilled corn elote. It's the perfect combination of that Texas barbecue and Mexican street food. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is we need to do some trimming on this tri-tip. We need to get some of that fat off, so we're going to take a little bit of that off real quick here. Still trimming off the fat cap here, getting it down. We don't need all that. Some of it will render down, but we need to get a little bit more off of here. So a little fact about the tri-tip is in California, it's known as the California brisket. Here in Texas, the tri-tip has become a more popular cut the last 5 or 10 years. Okay, we've done enough trimming on this. The first thing I want to talk about before we season it up and put it out on the smoker is, if you notice how the fibers run, these kind of fan out on the tri-tip. So it becomes a little bit tricky after you smoke it on how to cut it, because we want you to have a nice eating experience. And a lot of times people cut it with the grain so you don't have a nice eating experience. What we want to teach is look at your grain before you season it up, maybe to get your knife and do a little indentation right here across the grain. That way when you come back in after you smoked it, you'll know which way to slice it. You'll have a better eating experience, so that's a good little tip for you. Okay, now that we got our tri-tip all trimmed up and ready to go, we need to add our seasoning to it. So we're going to add a little bit of kosher salt, a little bit of black pepper. We have some garlic, some ancho chili powder, and then some paprika. We'll give that a good little mix together real quick. And we want to be very generous with our rub on this. It can handle it. We've got it all mixed up. Now what I want to first do is add a little bit of olive oil to my tri-tip. And remember, a little bit goes a long way. So we'll get this with my wet hand here. We'll keep this right hand as a dry hand. Rub it with oil. Plenty on there now. Now we'll add our seasoning. Like I said, we want to be pretty generous with this. We'll get it all rubbed in. Make sure you get all the sides as well. You can flip it, sides. We've got a good amount of seasoning here. We've got it all seasoned up on both sides. We're ready to get it out there to the smoker. Okay, so today we're gonna convert our charcoal grill into a smoker. We're gonna set it up in a 2-zone system. We're gonna have a cold spot and a hot spot. So let's get started. Now we're gonna place a watering pan. We're gonna place it on the left side here over by our shelf, okay? We've got a chimney full of our charcoal, and we have our little fire starters right here. So we'll place them down at the bottom of our grill. We'll come up here, bring our charcoal, place it on top, and we're gonna go ahead and light our fire starter underneath here. Okay, we've got our watering pan over here to the left. We have our coals burning down. So after the coals burn down and get nice and ashy colored, we'll come back and we'll add water to our pan. You can add a 1/4 cup, a 1/2 cup. It doesn't need a whole lot. We just want to use it as a drip pan. Also, we're putting it underneath the where we'll put the meat, because we don't want to be grilling, we want to be smoking. So it'll keep our fire from falling underneath our tri-tip. Okay, our coals have now burned down. They're a nice ashy color, so we need to dump them out into our smoker. Okay, we've got our hot coals over here. Now we need to add our water to the watering pan. Like I said, we can add a 1/4 cup or about a 1/2 cup in here. That should be plenty. Now what I want to do is add a little bit more flavor to this. So I'm going to add some hickory chunk woods to the fire, get them smoldering down. And then as they're smoldering down, we'll go in and get the tri-tip, bring it back out here, and get it start to smoking. Okay, our coals are burned down, our wood chunks have been smoldering a little while. We've got our watering pan set up, so now we're gonna place our tri-tip over the watering pan. So let's get this thing to smoking. It's been about 20-25 minutes. Now it's time to flip our tri-tip. Got a nice color. Flip that over once. All right, looking good. It's been another 25 minutes. Let's go ahead and check our internal temperature. It should reach that nice 135 to 140. Oh, that looks good, 137. All right, it's time to pull it off. All right, we got our tri-tip inside resting. It's gonna be about another 15 minutes. So while that's resting, we're gonna grill up some corn. We've got 2 ears of corn here. Should take about another 10 or 15 minutes for the corn. So we'll get them grilled up and then we'll go inside and do some tri-tip slicing and get after this. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and trim off our corn off the cob here real quick. So we're gonna add all our corn here to the bowl. So let's add our mayonnaise to that real quick. Salt. Now we'll add the cilantro. Now we'll add the ancho chili powder. And then we'll add our cotija cheese. And we're gonna give that a good mix. And before I forget it, I'm gonna add a little bit of the lime juice to it as well. Oh, that's coming together nicely. So let's get to slicing our tri-tip. So remember, before we seasoned it up and put it out on the smoker, we made our little cuts, our slices here, so we know which way the grain was running. So now we know which way to slice this, and we're gonna slice it across the grain. Now remember, when you're cutting this, you can cut it into about 1/4 of an inch, or what I try to tell people is do a number 2 size pencil in terms of the width. Now this end little piece, that's for the cook. That's tasty. Look at that, nice medium rare, perfectly done, nice and juicy. Look at this beautiful plate. We have that smoked hickory tri-tip that pairs well with this creamy, fresh grilled corn. It's a great pairing. Great for any time of the year. Thanks for hanging out, and remember to go to beeflovingtexans.com for the full recipe. Remember to like and share, and remember to smoke and grill like a Texan.